咋办？家人们谁懂啊？
What should I do? Who would understand this? My fruit store has only been open for 3 days. I bought so much imported fruit and none of it's selling. The bananas are already getting spots and the durians are the same. They're all opening up. I spent 8,000 yuan on durians. These Taiwanese mangoes are about to get black spots too. What should I do? And there are so many durians left, all top quality. What should I do? The sky is falling. As the store owner was still speaking, she collapsed on the floor in tears. A Shanghai resident heard that Carrefour stores were shutting down and decided to visit one in the Putuo district. Upon arrival, the store had already closed its doors.
普陀万里，家乐福超市，苏宁易购。
The Carrefour supermarket in Putuo, Wanli, used to be bustling, the only large supermarket in Wanli area, a very busy mall. Let's see what it looks like now. The notice downstairs that it's still in normal operation, so we came up. The elevator isn't working and the place is completely sealed off. It must have already closed. This is Shanghai. I wonder if any Carrefour stores are still open. A comment online expressed regret, noting that such a prime location would now remain vacant for a long time. The mall outside the store was deserted, reflecting the current state of physical retail in central Shanghai. Not long ago, another video was uploaded showing a Carrefour in Shanghai's Jingqiao near Yanggao Road completely demolished. Over the past 20 years, the store has been a landmark, but now it is gone. One person commented, "This was the best Carrefour I've ever been to." Another commenter shared their experience. As a local, I watched the rise and fall of Carrefour in Jingqiao. Back in the day, we would take a shuttle bus there every weekend. It felt very upscale with many foreigners shopping. They sold a lot of foreign products, and the bread and cakes were freshly baked by foreign chefs. After a few years abroad, I came back to it completely declined with more low-end products. There is now talk about what to do with Carrefour cards people had purchased with real money. Many are wondering if refunds are still possible. Recently, Suning.com announced it was selling its 4 unprofitable bankrupt Carrefour subsidiaries for a symbolic total of 4 yuan. This move is seen as a necessary adjustment amidst Suning's liquidity crisis and the ongoing pressure on China's economy. It reflects the tough position of a once dominant retail giant now facing the need to reinvent itself. Suning's fully owned subsidiary Suning International signed an agreement to transfer 1,000% of the shares of Carrefour subsidiaries in Ningbo, Hangzhou, Zhuzhou, and Shenyang for just 1 yuan each. The 4 stores have been shut down with negative net assets and combined liabilities of approximately 176 million yuan. All of these companies are also listed as untrustworthy. The buyer, Shanghai Jiafu Qishu, is a firm created by Shanghai Yuan Law Consulting and 2 local asset management companies focused on corporate debt restructuring. Suning said the deal would help relieve its financial burden through asset and debt restructuring, projecting an increase of about 572 million yuan in net profit. In 2019, Suning acquired 80% of Carrefour China for 4.8 billion yuan, aiming to expand its presence in fast-moving consumer goods and offline retail. However, after the acquisition, Carrefour's performance worsened instead of improving. Affected by China's downgrading consumption trend, increased competition, and Suning's own liquidity crisis, the number of Carrefour stores fell sharply from 228 in 2020 to just 4 by the end of 2023. These remaining stores are located in Shanghai and Beijing, and some have temporarily closed or are only selling existing stock. The Carrefour store in Changsha, Shanghai was recently dismantled. Meanwhile, Suning is in a legal battle with Carrefour's parent company for failing to pay the remaining 20% of the purchase price. In 2023, an arbitration court in Hong Kong ruled that Suning must pay about 1.1 billion yuan. Suning's listed company has also faced continued losses from 2020 to 2022, resulting in an ongoing ST warning. Analysts note 2 main reasons for Carrefour's rapid decline under Suning's ownership. First, Carrefour's decline wasn't sudden but a long-term issue. As the first company to introduce the hypermarket model to China, Carrefour once gained popularity with its price advantages and wide product range. However, as consumer habits shifted, community-based retail emerged and e-commerce boomed. Carrefour's large store model lost its appeal. In particular, consumer in first and second tier cities increasingly prioritized convenience and experience, while Carrefour lagged behind in store design, product offerings, and brand vitality, missing the chance to adapt to market changes. Second, Sunnings misjudged the value of retail consolidation, mistaking a burden for an asset. Suning hoped to address its offline retail gap by acquiring Carrefour and integrating it with Suning's smaller stores, logistics, and supply chain. However, Suning severely underestimated Carrefour's structural losses and declining brand power. Carrefour was not a resource to integrate, but rather an aging asset. This acquisition ended up becoming a toxic investment. Not long after the acquisition, Suning faced a financial crisis with its core businesses such as Suning.com and financial investments suffering major setbacks. Unable to revamp the stores, rebrand, or upgrade the supply chain, Carrefour became an outdated brand dragged along by Suning, even facing empty shelves and unpaid supply debts, which severely damaged consumer trust. Soon after acquiring Carrefour, Suning found itself in a financial crisis. Its core businesses, including Suning.com and its financial investment, were severely impacted. Unable to renovate stores, rebrand, or upgrade its supply chain, Carrefour became an outdated brand struggling to keep up. There were even reports of empty shelves and unpaid supply bills, which severely damaged consumer confidence. After taking over, Suning should have focused on restructuring its stores or downsizing, but instead it attempted to incorporate Carrefour into its multi-channel platform, creating a home appliances plus fresh food plus department store hybrid model. The result was unclear positioning, low employee morale, and declining customer approval. Internal overlaps and long processes led to operational chaos. Carrefour had already missed its opportunity to transform and became a traditional retailer with little market vitality or brand appeal. Meanwhile, Suning made the acquisition at the wrong time and in the wrong way, lacking both the resources to turn things around and the commitment to invest. The partnership quickly fell apart, leaving only empty shelves and a series of store closures. People now recognize the extreme downturn in retail and physical stores. Beyond the impact of e-commerce, the fundamental issue is consumer downgrading. However, many people still don't fully realize how severe this downgrading is or how different it is across regions. Reports from Chinese media show that the growth of China's total retail sales of consumer goods has been cut in half compared to last year, far below pre-pandemic levels. Consumption in top-tier cities like Beijing, Shanghai, and Guangzhou has seriously declined. At the same time, consumer polarization is growing, with the retail sales in Shanghai and Guangzhou differing by a factor of 345. According to data from China's National Bureau of Statistics, in 2024, the total retail sales of consumer goods grew by 3.5%, a 3.7 percentage point decrease compared to 2023. This growth rate is also far below the 8% plus level before the pandemic. Domestic consumption contributed 70% to economic growth, with final consumption contributing 44.5%, a decrease compared to 2023. Data from various cities in China revealed that large cities such as Shanghai, Beijing, Shenzhen, Chongqing, and Guangzhou have been hit the hardest by declining consumption. In 2024, the average retail sales growth of the 27 trillion yuan cities was just 2.6%, with an average consumption to GDP ratio of only 34.7%. Among these, Beijing, Shanghai, and Guangzhou saw the most severe decline, with Tianjin experiencing negative growth, and cities like Jing'an, Foshan, and Dongguan nearing zero growth. Since the Chinese government never publishes real data, external observers speculate that China's economic difficulties are even worse than reported. Reports suggest that the consumer downturn in top Chinese cities is partly due to high-income groups becoming more conservative in their spending due to anticipated economic challenges. Surveys show that the higher a person's income and the education level, the more likely they are to shift towards conservative consumption, indicating that this group is more sensitive to economic conditions. One person said that opening a supermarket in 2025 is like playing the slot machines, as many big supermarkets close within 3 months of opening. Now is really not the time to invest recklessly.
They renovated and opened less than 3 months ago. Such a beautiful supermarket, and it closed overnight. How did this happen?
In the background, the supermarket's announcement kept saying, "Tonight is the last night, selling everything at a loss. Hope to see you again." People were commenting, "There is a store near me. The grand opening banner is still up, and now there's a sign on the door saying, 'Shop for rent.' Now I only buy food. I can't afford anything else. It's too expensive." With income down, the rise of e-commerce, too many malls, and high rent, it's really hard to make it work. A TikToker user shared in his video,
I was planning to stop by RT Mart supermarket this evening, but when I got there, I found that the shelves were almost empty. It had a grand opening just last year, and now, after only 1 year, it's quietly gone.
someone wrote in the comment section, "This place is strange. Location is fine, but the store can't seem to open." Some people say that supermarket and e-commerce sells the same products, but supermarket prices are higher. When you buy 3 or 4 things, they charge you a plastic bag. That's why many people just buy online. Another user uploaded a video saying, "Now even the busiest RT Mart is empty. Look at this. It's empty at this time. It feels like I'm traveling back in time. The mall is so clean. It feels like I have it all to myself. I'm the only one here." Meituan is now offering instant retail delivery orders in just 20 minutes. With services like this, who still wants to go shopping or visit a mall? In the past, elevators were packed with people shoulder to shoulder. Now, aside from the staff, the place is empty. The contrast is striking. One user boldly stated, "Starting next year, all physical stores will collapse."
从明年开始，就是2026年。
Starting in 2026, no one will open physical stores anymore. The final straw that broke the camel's back has really arrived. You may have already noticed that Meituan's flash sale function is slowly eating up all the business of physical stores. How do they do it? It's really just behind-the-scenes operations between the platform and the supply chain. Let's put that behind-the-scenes operation in quotes. For example, manufacturers set up their warehouses at a certain location, so they have their own warehouse, and they connect directly with online platforms. Consumers can buy directly from the source at cheaper prices and with faster delivery, and the delivery person is just a transport tool. This way, consumers bypass the physical stores, and the business of physical stores shrinks. This is the current situation. So, the main reason physical stores are being beaten is e-commerce, and e-commerce is constantly upgrading and changing its methods and strategies. I just wonder, would you still dare to open a physical store?
Another user said, "E-commerce and online shopping are indeed powerful, but some products are ones that consumers don't want to buy online. Shopping in malls used to be a way to relax and unwind, but now, due to the situation, people are being forced to abandon traditional shopping habits. However, e-commerce is certainly having a huge impact on physical stores and the retail industry." Statistics have indicated that in 2023 alone, over 550 department stores closed in China, setting a new record. Since 2022, at least 40 major retail companies have either gone bankrupt or downsized, including well-known brands like Suning.com, Yingtai Department Store, and RT Mart. Once giant in retail, these companies are now falling one after another. From 2018 to 2023, China's e-commerce penetration rate rose significantly from 23% to over 30%. Nearly 1 in 3 purchases is now made online. The rise of live streaming e-commerce has been specifically notable. In 2023, the live streaming market alone reached a staggering 4.9 trillion yuan, accounting for nearly 1/5 of the total online retail market, becoming the new online night market. The driving forces behind the wave are not only Alibaba and JD.com, but also rising stars like Pinduoduo and Douyin TikTok. By using low-price strategies and social media promotions, they have successfully penetrated lower-tier markets. This has not only squeezed the profit margins of physical stores, but also changed the shopping habits of consumers. Now, young people would rather scroll through their phones on the couch than walk downstairs to the convenience store. At the same time, physical shopping districts are facing a double blow. First, a sharp decline in foot traffic. Core shopping districts in first-tier cities saw more than a 30% drop in foot traffic compared to 2019. Second, high rent and labor costs are making it hard for stores to stay in business.
A person filmed a video at a large supermarket and said,
看看现在的超市吧。
Look at the supermarket now. Besides the stock clerks and cashiers, how many customers are there? Drinks aren't selling, bread isn't selling, and fruits aren't selling either. Ready-to-eat food isn't selling anymore. So many preservatives, so many additives, so many artificial colors. How can people dare to eat it? I used to think you had to go to the hospital to buy drugs. Now when you go to a supermarket, what you're eating is also drugs. Restaurants are closing one after another, malls are empty, and only hospitals are packed with people, crowded every day.
One person pointed out that China's food safety issues have had a serious negative impact on retail, particularly by eroding consumer confidence, damaging brand image, reducing sales, and increasing costs. Recently, Hema supermarket has been exposed for multiple products appearing on the blacklist. These include fresh eggs labeled as clean, antibiotic-free, sold at Hema's Weifang store, which were found to contain excessive levels of demetrazole and trimethoprim antibiotics. The green kiwi sold by Hema Nanjing branch was also found to exceed allowable levels of growth regulators. At Hema's Hangzhou branch, Chinese wolffish was found to have excessive levels of metronidazole, an antibiotic used for treating sexually transmitted infections. Hema's Hefei branch also sold cola fragrant pears that were found to contain excessive levels of etoxazole, a pesticide. For consumers, once the media exposes a supermarket selling problematic food, even if it's only from one store, it can damage the entire chain's reputation. For supermarkets and retailers, food safety is not just an issue with a single product, but at the core of their brand reputation. When a food safety incident occurs, a company faces fines and product removal, along with a PR crisis and loss of customers. The collapse of Carrefour in China reflects the broader trend in China's economy and society. Economic weakness, lack of industry regulation, and the rise of e-commerce and other new business models have made China's retail and physical stores increasingly difficult to sustain. As people lose the opportunities to shop in physical stores, they will find that issues like food safety and product quality are also present on e-commerce platforms, possibly with even worse consequences since these are determined by China's authoritarian regime.